Assalamu alaikum. Namaste. Hotep. Shalom alaikum. Peace. How you doing? This is Tracy Lene Muhammad, and I wanted a few minutes of your time to talk to you about what happens when you hold on to anger beyond the expiration date. And what I mean by that is when situations come into your life that make you angry, when you are betrayed, when you are betrayal of any sorts, whether it's a lying betrayal or a cheating betrayal or any, there's so many different ways that we can be betrayed, and by many people, not just your spouse, not just a family member, but maybe a friend or a coworker. Betrayal can make you angry when you give your honest trust to someone and they hurt you, they betray you, it will fuck you up for a minute. Now, if you didn't give your honest trust to someone, you're not, what you're going through is an ego transformation because your ego is just hurt because you never really trust them in the first place. But if you have trusted someone, really trusted them, given them your energy, and then they turn around and due to a defect of their own that has absolutely nothing to do with you, you are not the problem. The problem is whoever betrayed you has a very low self-worth. Their standards for themselves are very low, and it's spilled out on you because you're in the way. It's like if you have something, a glass, and you knock it over, the path didn't ask to get wet, but whatever the path, that way that water flows, it's going to get wet. So when we have people in our lives and they are fucked up and they have a lot going on with them, and sometimes you don't see it, and so lots of times, now I do believe that everything that comes into my life, I drew it to me to help me. It could be a karmic result of something that I did and it's now time for my payback. It could be just a lesson I need to learn because I'm not quite as far up the vibrational scale, but this will help me get up there. It may be that this is just something that happens because life is full of stuff that just happens. The explanation for it may never come, but it's not what happens to you, and I know you've heard this before. It's how do you respond to what happens to you? What do you do when life deals you up some real lemons? You can make lemonade. Yes, you can. You can make something. Lemonade, think about it. Lemonade is tart. It's bittersweet. So when the situation comes, it's going to be bittersweet, but you can extract the greatness in it. Especially if you ride through that motherfucker like a boss. Yes, I'm a cusser. You already know that. And if it offends you, it's not my intention to offend you. It's just my intention to show up 100% on authentically Tracy. And Tracy is a cusser, period. Not because I don't know how to speak and I just got a low language. Because I just like the way it sounds. It vibrates out of me. If it don't to you, I get it. I totally get it. There's so many people out there that you would resonate with, and I get it. I 100% get it. But there are people who resonate with me, and I thank the heavens for that. So when that anger comes in, you have a choice. You can hold on to it forever. Just hold on to it until you have sucked the life out of the anger, and then you'll start creating anger, because that's usually what happens. Like the situation is long been since over, and you'll see that person 10 years from now, like, I can't stand that bitch, she did blah 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 blah, and then the person's looking at you like, well, what year was that? And you go, 1985. Well, we're in 2019. Let it go. Because even if they intended to do it, you are responsible for yourself. So when you hold on to that anger beyond the expiration date, and what I mean by that is, and it's different for everybody, but when you do the work, when you decide to first forgive, giving them the understanding and knowing that every last person on the planet has been through something that has hurt them in their soul, and they lash out, including you and me. We've lashed out, we've hurt people, and we want their forgiveness. So in order to want forgiveness for somebody else, we have to be available to give it. Forgiveness is not an okay, what you did was okay. It is just saying, I'm not holding on to this. I'm going to extract the lessons from it. I'm going to take the blessings and I'm going to keep it stepping. Sometimes those people remain in your life. But listen, if you keep them in your life, if you decide, well, I forgive you and I'm keeping you in my life, you have to, and I've been guilty of this, you can't keep your foot on their neck. Like, I'm forgiving you, but you better not move and do this shit again, because I swear to God. But that's not forgiveness. What that is suffering, because as long as your foot is on the neck, you can't move either, because you got to stay there to keep your foot down on their neck. And while you're doing that, neither one of you can have a healthy life. So if you decide to keep the person in your life, you've got to let it go. You literally have to forget. You won't forget what happened, but you have to forget how it made you feel. Now, there's a difference. See, the human brain doesn't have the capacity to forget something unless you get amnesia. But you do have the capacity to release the feeling from it, because the feeling is really what you're dealing with. Whatever you're feeling, that's what we're really dealing with, the feeling. So if you can let go, forget the feeling, forget the way that betrayal made you feel, and then look at that person with God's eyes, because those eyes that are coming out of your eye sockets are God's eyes, because ye are all God's, children of the Most High God. But you die like men because you don't believe. And that's what the scripture says, okay? The Holy Quran backs it up with, we are all God's. We are the force and power. We are connected to the divine, and you can call it by any name, like Swami Satchidananda says that there is one truth, but there are many paths. The one truth is that we all are beautiful beings of light. That's the truth. How you get to that is all on you. But when you hold on to what somebody has done to you and you don't let it go, lots of times, because you have put that in front of you, you're a magnet for more of it. So shit just start going all wrong all around you. And before you know it, because you're so focused in on that, stuff around you is falling apart. You haven't paid attention to it because you're stuck on making that person pay for what they did to you. You don't take responsibility for, how did I allow this in my life? Now, I have to say this because I'm not talking to any woman or man or child when they were young or that has been raped or molested. I don't qualify to talk about that or how to get past that pain. And I'm definitely not saying you attracted that into your life. That would be too much for me to say that to you. What I believe is, if you have experienced something that deep, I do pray that the person who molested you or raped you, that they not know a moment's peace. But I don't want them to die, because if they die, then that's it. I want them to stay and live and go through the pain, like every day, just have a painful day. I don't think they deserve to not have a painful day, especially when you hurt children. So I know you, if you know me long enough, you know that there's two types of people that I just have nothing for, and that those are people who molest children and people who rape and murder unnecessarily. So there's three types that murder without cause. So, and what without cause, I mean, the person hasn't done anything to you. They're not attacking you, so you need to defend yourself and you kill them. They haven't hurt your children, because if you hurt my children, all bets off. All bets off. But back to that anger, I could just get all over the place. Back to that anger that is being held on for too long, and how to get rid of it. The first thing you have to do is acknowledge that that's what you're doing, that you're keeping your foot down on that person's neck and you're not letting them breathe, or even willing to see that they may have changed, but you can't because you're hurting. Deal with the root of that hurt, because it's not the situation. The situation made you feel a certain way because it was already connected to something else that made you feel a certain way. That root lock, that's what you're really dealing with. Now, when you go back, for me, the root lock was being conceived with no kind of love, and then being in a womb with a 17-year-old girl who didn't want to be pregnant, so never acknowledged she was pregnant, and I felt unworthy. I came to this planet feeling unworthy. So any situation that came in my life that further justified or spoke to that unworthiness hurt me deep in my soul, and I would hold on to it, and I would be angry because I knew I was worthy, but you're not treating me like I'm worthy. And it was because the root lock was, I did not know that I was worthy. I did not understand it. Now, I was blessed to come through both Christianity and Islam and have a lot of tools to use, but a lot of times those tools got lost behind my ego. So that I was really blessed to find a tool that helped me deal with my ego. And for me, that was tapping. Tapping may work for you. It's the EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. You can Google it, because I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I know that it worked for me, and it might work for you. Dr. Aleem Muhammad in the Nation of Islam turned me on to that, and it helped me to start to release some of my ego and some of that self-pride that had me thinking that I should be able to hurt people that hurt me by not forgiving them, not by doing it, because I've never been a tit for tat, because then that's my karma. I've always understood that piece of it. From being a little girl, I think I just somehow grasped that if somebody does something to me, but then I do it to somebody else, then I'm no better than the person that did it. And if I do it back to the person that did it to me, I'm just like them. And so my ego is set up in a way that it was like, nope, you ain't like that. Fuck them. So letting go of that anger only happened when I let go of my ego. And ego, the parts of my ego that don't serve me, that keep me thinking that I should hurt people by not forgiving them, and knowing that they've asked for forgiveness and I'm just not going to give it to you, or I'll say I'm going to give it to you, but I really haven't really given it to you, or I thought I gave it to you, but I think you need to jump through a few more hoops. Those are things that in my personal life I've done, and I've since stopped doing them, and the relief that I feel from stop doing those things has me in a really good space. I'm in a really good space in my life. In a few days, I'll be 51 years young. I feel amazing. I feel like my life is just starting, like I'm just beginning to be everything that I've wanted to be since I was a young girl. I'm feeling those things come through. And it's because I've let go of anger. Anger will put a dis-ease in your body. Anger, dis-ease is the dis-ease in our minds that show up in our physical bodies. And oftentimes we carry so much mental stress that the body just can't hold on. The soul wants to get out of that body because it's like, you are just too fucking depressing for me. So it creates a dis-ease, and that disease can take us off the planet. Period. That's not me making anything up. That's proof. They've done tests on it, and by the they, I mean the scientists of the world, that what we think and what we feel manifest more than what we say or what we do. It's what you feel and what you think for real about yourself. So let's say that you were the one that caused extreme pain to someone. You've got to forgive yourself. You can ask them for forgiveness if they're available and not afraid of you or want to talk to you. And if they're not available, you can do it this way. You can send it in the universe. You can literally sit down, take deep breaths in through your nose and out through your nose, counting to 4. Do maybe 3 or 4 rounds till you feel settled. And then you can ask for permission to speak to their soul. And then you can send love to their soul. You can ask their soul to forgive you. Now, I know we all know that we came from somewhere and we're going somewhere, and there's some type of connection. Things happen. You're like, how'd that happen? Deja vu. It's because energy is connected on all realms. So you ever been thinking about somebody and then they call you? It's because you connected with their energy. So connect with the energy and ask them to forgive you. Even if they're no longer on this side in the physical, you can still ask their soul to forgive you. And then you've got to live as if you were forgiven. That's the key. Feel forgiven. Feel forgiven. Feel forgiven. Let it go. And go back into your own heart and ask your soul to forgive you as well. Now, what that means is we're a soul inside of a physical body. The physical body is the personality, it's the DNA, it's the hair, it's the nails, it's the makeup that makes you the personality. But the soul comes from God or Allah or Yahweh or Divine Mother or whatever name you've chosen, the Creator. Because there are truly many paths. Look at it like this. If we all wanted to go to New York, could we all go on 95? Could we all get on Highway 95 and get there? Wouldn't be enough space. But some people may be coming from California. Some people may be coming from Arizona. Some people may be coming from Texas. Some people may be coming from the South. Wherever you're coming from, you get to New York in the best way for you. But the ultimate destination is the Big Apple, baby. So if that's where you're headed, if your mind is focused on, I want to connect to the Creator, you'll find the path that resonates with you. When you find that path, you do not have to beat nobody over the head to tell them that they should be on your path. You live it. You be it. You exude it in everything you do. You actually, if you have subscribed to an actual religion where you say, I am a Christian, I believe in the teachings of Jesus Christ. If you say, I am a Muslim, and all of the different sects and whatever you believe in, and what's written on paper, you are not following. You are not that. And saying I'm striving when you're not hurting nobody but yourself, but that's not who you are. You are a sum total of what you are doing, not what you are saying, but what you are feeling, what you are thinking. That's who you are. So if you're going to say you're those things, live the tenets of those things. Don't make excuses. You chose that religion, so do it. If you chose it, you do it. Don't try to change your religion to fit you. Fit you to the religion or leave. That's the way I see it. And that's why for me, I had to leave organized religion because I didn't fit, and it didn't feel right for me to fit. It didn't feel right for me to fit. It felt right for me to say, this is truth, this is truth, this is truth, this is truth, this is truth from all religions. This don't fit me, this don't fit me. Nah, can't do that. Ain't gonna do that. That's what it was for me. And now this path, this journey that I'm on feels more authentic for me because I feel free. But part of being free meant I had to forgive, I had to release anger, and the other thing you have to do, you can't talk about it no more. You gotta let it go as if it never happened again, like as if it ever happened ever. Don't even talk about it. If you see somebody that knew you when you were who you were, when they knew you, don't even act like that. You're not phony. You're forgiven. Now, you don't judge somebody else if they're still there like, oh my God, I can't believe she's doing that. No, boo. Then you're still there. But when you can just say, man, that used to be me, and let it go, wishing them some love, maybe even offering, them, hey, did you, I read this book and this may work for you, or this may work for you, and I'm not sure, but it, it kind of helped me. I just wanted to pass it on. Just like that, with no judgment, no attachment. But letting go of that anger requires that you first look into where the anger originated, like the root of your anger from this lifetime, because I do believe that we've been here many lifetimes, so we have some roots of anger. But there's also a prayer that you can say to get rid of that. Now, I learned this from a very, very beautiful spiritual teacher who was the first one to wake me up on my path in this lifetime in terms of needing to leave organized religion. And she told me to say this several times a day, and I did. So I'm going to say it slow for you because it might work for you and it might not. She said, I am willing to remove all blockages that are blocking me in this lifetime. I am willing to release all fear, suffering, sorrow, mental instability that is keeping me from a life of peace, joy, wealth, and understanding in all directions for all involved. So that's one of the things one of the persons taught me, saying that I had different people when I started moving through my spiritual path to give me basically the same thing, but you can craft your own sentence that allows you to let go or to break free. But you always started with, I am willing to release, because there are parts of you that are holding on to that stuff so tight. But if you're willing, then you start to see opportunities to make that willingness real. So making yourself available to being willing is the first key. Once you are willing, you'll see opportunities come around, and little what we call coincidences, but they aren't. You'll realize that you got angels, you got a spirit, you got a team, you got ancestors, you got like a tribe. You know how they say the beehive? You got your own hive. You got people on the other side that love and support you and are looking to help you grow. But they can't reach you because they don't come near anger. So if you're a ball of anger, they're like, send her a sign. Here, see if she get that. But it's hard for you to get it because you too busy walking around mad at the world. Sometimes for stuff that you fully participated in, like with women, we meet these men and we see the signs dead on. Red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. He 40 years old. He still live with his mom. He got 5 baby daddies. But guess what? It's because he hasn't met me yet. And he was waiting for me. Then you marry him and realize the reason why he's back living with his mama because he don't budget his money right and he don't pay his bills right. The reason why he got 4 different baby mamas is because he just slanging it everywhere with no commitment and then walking away from his responsibilities. So then you realize, God damn it, I'm going to be baby mama number 5 and I'm 40 years old. Well, what do? What you going to do? Well, you can sit in the anger of it or you can take responsibility, take that baby, hope that he decides to grow up a little bit and at least wants to be in the child's life, but move yourself forward. Without bitterness, you become better. So we have choices. Some people become bitter, some people become better. You can see them on Facebook. People who constantly post about how they doing their own thing. They write boo-boo. They got their thing. They making their money. They doing all of that. That's bitterness. Because a person who's better just shows you, hey, this is an opportunity that worked for me. They don't have to pull somebody else down or down talk men in order to pull themselves up. Or even other women. When you're a woman and you say you don't get along with women, that is the surest way for you to know that you got some root stuff with self-worth. Because as a woman, you're connected to every other woman on the planet, whether you like it or not. The connection is the energy, the feminine energy that we carry is in each of us. So when you don't like the feminine energy in another, it's because there's something about you. Now, I'm not talking about if a particular woman has betrayed you. That's specific. You don't like her. And that's okay. There are some women on the planet that I love with the love of God, but me no likey them. Me no likey them at all. I don't wish pain on them. I just wish that they wake up to the reality of who they really are. That's the pain right there. Anywho, those who know me kind of know exactly where I'm going with that. But anywho, just learning that, see, I got my own tribe. And I got a ride or die tribe. But see, we just riding until we die. We ride. We gonna ride this motherfucker until the wheels fall off. I'm very supported. I love women in the proper way. I don't, not me no likey, but me do love women. And I have strong sister friendships. And I love them. And they love me. And they support me. And they say to me when I'm being full of shit, Tracy, you full of shit. They do it. They say to me, Tracy, you full of shit. They don't have a problem with acknowledging to me when I'm in error. So just to backtrack, because we're going on 25 minutes. And if you listen this far, not only am I grateful for your time, I hope that I am giving you something that, of course, you could get somewhere else, but perhaps you're just getting it from me. And I love that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anger. Let it go. Write it out. Write it out. Now, we're in the new moon cycle, so the way to deal with the anger now is just to decide all of the great, amazing things you are and write them all out. You still can do this tonight. Bury it. Go near a beautiful tree, dig it up, bury it, cover it up. Now, what that is doing, the purpose for that ritual is to allow the energy of the tree, which is full of oxygen. Oxygen represents life, to give birth and life. You're planting. It's that planting of the seed. This is what you want to be. Then decide before you go to bed. You know what? I'm tired of being angry. So when I go to sleep, I want the creator, by whatever name you call, to perform a lobotomy on me and get rid of all of the anger, all of the stress, all of the struggles. And when I wake up in the morning, not only if I'm blessed to open my eyes, I'm going to look up and say thank you to the Most High that's in me. And I'm going to live this day like the boss that I am. How about you just try it? Let go of the anger. Live in peace, love, and joy. Let all of the things that you want find you, because there's nothing blocking them. And anger is a great blocker. Fear is a great blocker. Bitterness is a great blocker. If somebody hurt you so bad you don't think you can forgive them, say this: I am willing to try and forgive them. Start there. I love you. I don't even need to know you to know that I do love you. You know why? Because I love me. And when I love me, I love everybody that has the essence of me, which is love and God. Have an amazing day. Assalamu alaikum. Namaste. Hotep. Shalom alaikum. Peace out to Brooklyn and everywhere else. Now, I say that all the time because I do so love me hubby. And he's from Brooklyn. He's a Brooklyn boy. So, peace out to Brooklyn and everywhere else.